Hello. So, as you can see, the scene has changed again. I am in a different house again. Um, this is my grandfather's home. I'm in the basement. And I figured today I'd talk about the day I got hit by a car and kind of just go over exactly what happened to the best of my ability. And it was about midsummer. I would say it was probably somewhere in July. It was still pretty nice out. And I was going through the motions of life and, being a kid. I was like probably 12 or 13 tops. And I would go to this friend's house and I'd hang out with her and her family for almost every day. And so I ended up going over there and staying a little too late. And it was probably about 11:30, and I wanted to get home because curfew was a pain in the dick hole, and I was terrified of what my mom was gonna do. So I had this big old chopper bike. It had like one of those big fat back tires, and it had a like the long dual fork thing going down with a like a wide a big skinny tire. It's kind of hard to fully describe, but it had it was mostly black and had like silver with red lined flames on it. And, I thought it was like super cool growing up. And so, um, when you pedal on that thing, after the first 7 pushes with the pedals, you start to just coast and like fly. And I decided to give that the best go that I could. And I'm going through an area where there's an alleyway that connects to a road that leads to another alleyway. So as I'm streaming across the alleyway, I didn't even think about it. I went out into the road and I see a pair of headlights at the last second. I had just enough time to pull my leg up. I guess I kind of blacked out after that point, but from what I remember, I hit almost dead center and folded the bike into a U shape. I'm pretty sure it was like a charcoal black Dodge Challenger. It came at me at 35 miles an hour, and since I had pulled my leg up, I had basically went into catapult mode and got launched at least 10 feet. At least that's what the ambulance said. It was somewhere around roughly 10 feet and then rolled around 5. It was a total of 15 feet between where the bike was and where I was. So I wake up and the dude who was in the car is in my face questioning me. Are you okay? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. I had never been that livid in such a long time. And so he's like, "What's your mom's name?" And I was like, "Amy fucking Royer." And then I got picked up by an ambulance. I kind of blacked back out after that. And then I remember waking up at about like 90% of the way to the hospital. He's like, "Feeling okay?" And I'm like, "No." And I'm like, "I don't really know how to feel." And as it turns out, the worst I came out with was a scratch on my elbow and a bump on the back of my head, on the back left side. And I was astonished to know that after being hit at such a velocity with all that, I was like almost completely fine. And I was shocked to see that I was just unaffected almost entirely. It was impressive to me. And then, not too long after that, the the guy who had hit me, his kid, I knew his kid, except he had asthma. And they were having a bonfire one day, and the kid decided to go out and have fun, but he had just enough smoke inhalation to where it caused an asthma attack, but they didn't know. I can't remember exactly how he got caught up in it and then clocked out from life, but his dad, it had only been maybe 3 months since his kid had died from the asthma attack, and then on top of that, he almost killed me. So he had been almost completely devastated for like the longest time because of that, and even before he had hit me. And I remember going to graduate 8th grade year, and of course they were in the front row, almost directly in front of me. His dad was literally like one seat over, about 30 feet away. and he couldn't make eye contact. He could, and that was understandable. I never even talked to him again, just because I knew that it was just a real heart wrenchy kind of thing, and the whole family was there, and then they had a seat with a picture of their kid on it. It was quite a day. I think eventually though he has gotten over, like, not gotten over it, but like he's basically forgotten, and as it turns out, even more, his kid's grave is like 2 graves away from my grandmother's grave, which is so, like, neatly coincidental. And I stopped by, when I stopped by the one, I stopped by both, and part of the reason is because with his kid, I had around, I think it was like 7th grade. Me and him were supposed to fight after school, but then, being children, we both kind of found a way to back out of it by, like, questioning each other and then slowly backing away more. I think it was like some sort of, like, totally gonna fight, but we're totally not really gonna fight. But, like, we're gonna keep talking because we don't want to admit the fact that we're totally backing out of a fight and then back out of the fight anyway. And then he stopped by my house like 2 or 3 days later. He knocked at my door, and at first I thought, no, I don't want to answer this. Fuck this kid. What the fuck? And then I really gave it some thought, in a good, like, 3 second span, obviously, because he's at the door and I wanted to walk away. So I open it, and the first thing he says is, "I'm sorry." And I was like, "Yeah, me too." And I totally got caught off guard. Like, I had my hands ready and everything. Like, I don't know what the fuck was gonna happen. I didn't even know he knew where I lived. But when he had, what had, what had, it, I don't even know. I kind of lost my train of thought. I heard noise going, but he just, he apologized and said that he would rather us be friends than ever fight again. And then, not even 2 or 3 weeks later, it just ended, faded out of the planet. So it felt necessary, um, when I had gone to visit my grandma's grave for the first time and saw that Nick was, like, right over there. It kind of, just, like, even more of a feeling kind of built up. So I always like to take that time out when I go. Yeah, I guess that's a story for today.